season as the MVP favorite thanks to his league-leading 48 passing touchdowns. The Packers veteran also had the fewest interceptions of any quarterback who started all 16 games this season with just 5. So, Shannon, on a scale of 1 to 10, how impressive was Rodgers' season?
On a scale of 1 to 10, on a scale of 1 to 10 million. Because he
10 million?
Yeah, Skip, he did it, Skip. He did it. He finished first in completion percentage, touchdown passes, touchdown percentage, interception percentage, passer rating, QBR, total touchdown, adjusted yards per attempt. Skip, it's an unbelievable season. Think about this. Aaron Rodgers threw more touchdown passes than his team punted the football. Yeah, you heard me correctly. I said Aaron Rodgers threw more touchdowns than J.K. Scott had punts. His last 2 games, when he slammed the door, when it was neck and neck, he and Mahomes, or he and Josh Allen for MVP, 8 touchdowns, 9 incompletions. Game, set, match, Rodgers. It's over. Skip, it was a 10. It's a 10 times 10. This is the crescendo of Aaron Rodgers. Like I said, that 2011 season when I believe he was 45-6. He was phenomenal. He was like, the guy threw 45 touchdowns with 6 picks. He said, I got better. He did 48-5. Skip, that's ridiculous. That is utterly ridiculous that the man put up these kinds of numbers. So he was a 10. He's going to be the MVP. I believe Derrick Henry will win Offensive Player of the Year. But the MVP is over. It's done. He finished it off the last 2 weeks in the way he should because you needed to get, they wanted home field. He openly talked about it, Skip. And the thing that I like about Aaron Rodgers is that he's not cliche. He's going to tell you exactly how he feels. I want that home field. I want somebody to come here. I'm going to do my thing.
Never had it.
He said, I'm coming to get it. He said,
went
now.
to one long ago Super Bowl as a road wild card team, right?
Yes, he did that. And
since then, it's been really slim pickings for him.
Because you know why?
6 and 7 in the postseason since that one wild card run.
You see the guy that was holding him back? He coached your team. Look at your team. Your team won 8.
I thought he was transcendent.
Hold on, Skip. Your team last year won 8 games with 8-8 Jason Garrett. He comes there and wins 2 fewer games than 8-8. And you think.
So, I'm going to be objective on this side of the table about Aaron Rodgers' season. I'm going to give him an 8 on a scale of 1 to 10.
This is a bull jive. This is a good bull jive.
I don't. This is not bull jive because I got the facts here.
Okay, give me facts.
That he had some rough outings camouflaged by all those touchdown passes because at Tampa Bay,
Okay, Tampa Bay.
he had a QBR of 12. He threw nearly 2 straight pick sixes, and in the second half, actually the last 3 quarters of the game, he scored 0 points.
He scored 0. That's 1 game, so they got 15 to go. Give me the other.
How about the worst team in pro football went up to the frozen tundra of Lambeau Field, the Jaguars, and Aaron barely won the game 24-20 with a QBR of 45, which scale 0 to 100 is below average against the Jaguars.
Okay, that's...
At Indy, he's leading 28-14 at halftime, and he stunk it up in the second half.
What was his QBR?
And needed a field goal to send it to overtime, and they lost in overtime.
Tell the people what happened now. Tell the people that...
74, not great, not bad. But again, the second half, he stunk. And speaking of stinking, to your point about not being cliche-ridden as a speaker or post-game speaker, he flat out said, I stunk in the second half. At home against Carolina, when Teddy Bridgewater had a better QBR than Aaron Rodgers, he stunk in the second half. He threw for a grand total of 44 yards in the second half against Carolina.
But see, here's the thing, though.
What?
You saying he stunk in those games that he won. He won those games.
Okay. Now, let's look at degree of difficulty, shall we? Going into yesterday, and obviously he had a huge loss to David Bakhtiari, his tackle. But going into yesterday, Pro Football Focus ranked his offensive line 2nd best in pro football. Ranked his rushing attack 4th best in pro football. Ranked his go-to receiver, Davante Adams, #1 in all of football because he leads in every category. He leads in catches and yards and targets. Because he should. He's been that good. And I ask you, if Devontae Smith can win the Heisman Trophy, which I believe he will, shouldn't Davante Adams at least be in the MVP conversation? Because he's helping make Aaron Rodgers with all those touchdown passes.
We saw Calvin Johnson have almost 2,000 yards and not getting the MVP conversation. And normally, even when Jerry...
Maybe he should have.
Even when Randy broke the record, who won the MVP that season? Tom Brady.
Okay.
Because you're going to say, look at the guy. Skip, you know what? In a normal year, maybe because there are some quarterbacks that had outstanding years. Josh Allen had an outstanding year, Skip. So did Mahomes. So
did Tom Brady.
Russell Wilson, sure.
Yes.
But Skip, I don't know how you overlook 48-5.
Well, he is the MVP, but you asked me to rank the quality of the MVP. I'll give it an 8 on a scale of 10. That's actually pretty high.
When's the last time we saw a guy leading all these statistical categories?
Yep.
Everyone from top to bottom, Skip. You said, okay, passing touchdowns, he got that. QBR, you love QBR. He won that.
What was his QBR last year at San Francisco in the NFC Championship game? 23, because they turned it over three times.
You told me that, you told me to start the show. The pass has nothing to do with right now. That's what you told me.
I'm just saying, now he's got something he's never had. He's got home field to the Super Bowl.
He got that.
If he can take advantage of it. Can he?
Whether or not, no, we're not, that wasn't the question.
Can he beat Tampa Bay on the frozen tundra? We'll see about that.
The question was, greatest season.
Yep.
He gets a 10.
Okay, we'll see where he goes from here. And he was fired up because they tried to replace him.
Yeah, considering how the season started for Aaron Rodgers, he's playing with plenty to prove, and it's working. And that is hard for me to say.
I can't believe you gave that man an 8.
Coming from Minnesota. What does the Lakers win over the weekend mean for Skip and Shannon? I will remind you guys of a certain bet. I'll tell you about it next.
Yeah.
Ezekiel Elliott finished with only 42 yards on the ground in the Cowboys' 23-19 loss to the Giants yesterday. It was the running back's 6th game this season with fewer than 50 yards rushing, and he finished with his lowest total rushing yards of his career at 979. So, Skip, can the Cowboys make the playoffs next season with Zeke as their lead back?
Shannon Sharp, you got me today. I do not love my team's chances going forward with Dak Prescott or Ezekiel Elliott. Because I have a quarterback who wants far more money than I believe he's worth. I like him, but I don't love him that much. And I like Zeke, but he is now making far, far more money than he is worth at this stage of his career.
Can be still only 26.
I got it, but I believe I was first to market with this. He still looks like he's running in Cabo sand to me. He has lost his burst, lost his burst. And now, repeatedly, when I need him the most, I can't trust him to be there. Yesterday, he waved out first quarter with some kind of weird, mysterious injury. 1st and 10 at the 16, down 6-0, when you have a chance to seize control of the game because you could say, hey, I'm the best player on the field. You can't stop me. And I thought it was his moment and his time, and he waves out. And if he was truly hurt and could not return to the game, I'd be good with it, obviously. He returned to the game and looked just fine to me a couple of series later. What? So now I've got a Zeke who is still very good at making something out of nothing, because that half-yard run at the goal line yesterday, that was really good. If we could see that, it's a half yard, but there was nothing there, and he got home. And here we go. And there's nothing, so he just willed it over. He fought it over. My problem is he can't make something